Hello, guys. Welcome back to our podcast, The Journal of Journeys. Today, we're really excited to be with our guests. So, I've known Dr. Steve for quite a while now. Yeah. And I remember my first time coming in, and I was very reluctant. But after working with Dr. Steve for that first time, I mean, it's been very. I always joke it's always been transformative, life changing, right? So we're really excited. Dr. Steve is a very successful chiropractor here in the San Mateo area, and we are super excited. Thank you so much for carving out your time for us.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We are literally in his office space,
His
really
dome.
relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get started. So Dr. Steve, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate this. I know that you're doing this in between all of your patients today too. So
Okay.
we really appreciate your
Thank you
time.
for coming by.
Yeah. Can you share with us your personal journey of how or what inspired you to become a chiropractor in the first place?
Oh wow. Okay, that really started in the very beginning when I was like age 8 when my dad was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Really
so
early on.
that's how I started out. And then from he passed away when I was 10, which is 2 years after we found out he was
Mm.
diagnosed. So this was when we came to California during that time. We were living in Wisconsin at the time when we found out he had cancer. So we moved to California and we're going to start from that point on. Okay, so from that point on, 8 years old, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. He had 2 years to live. So my mom was bathing my dad, feeding him. And, as a kid looking on to what's going on, all I could do was just ask mom, hey, what can I do to help you? So that's when I started like doing little things like helping my mom, bathe him, feed him, massaging my dad's hand and feet, the best I can as a little kid, kid. I had no training. I didn't know what I was doing, but that just kind of like instilled in me some kind of passion for helping those that are less fortunate, So even that point on, and my dad was saying, hey, I'm proud of you. Thank you for doing this. So that gratitude and that appreciation that I felt, that kind of just grew in me at age 8 and at 10 when I was became 10 years old. That's when my dad passed away, and then that I feel like that was kind of
Mm,
like a seed that my dad
I
planted in
see.
me
Wow.
to become who I am.
That's crazy, man. I mean, like like I always think about well, before I get in too deep, I asked you a question while we were earlier while you were adjusting me, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I know you stole my last name. No, I'm just kidding. No, I stole your last
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Do we
yeah,
get equity in this business too?
yeah.
Because it is called a Tao.
It is Tao
It is
chiropractic. That's how we do it.
chiropractic, and but I mean, in the Hmong tradition, we all have similar last names,
Yes,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of us, and we always say, you know what, same last name comes the same brotherhood, things
exactly,
like that.
exactly.
And I think that's very important for me.
Mhm.
But I mean, so when you know, with your dad going through there, it must have been like a huge impact, especially coming from your dad,
Oh yeah.
you know. And has there been after going through all that, did you ever feel like, you know what, something clicked in me, like I want to be as like my father figure, like I want to be as good as him or even better?
You know what? It just kind of came naturally, to be honest. Because, like I said, I've never really measured myself to my dad,
Yeah,
because different generation.
yeah, yeah.
The surviving the war. My dad was actually a soldier during the Vietnam War,
Oh, he
so that's
was.
the reason we were granted permission to come here at such an early age. We came here in
Oh man,
1978, so we were one of the
that
early
is.
arriver. Yeah, we were one of the early
Yeah.
arrivers, and I was born in 1979. So again,
Mhm.
that's goes to show how close it was, and I have a lot of respect for just the Hmong culture in general,
Yeah.
having to fight in that war, especially the elders, right? That's why I've always have, even though I was born here in the United States, I've always had this rich rooted tradition of being Hmong, and I'm proud to be
Hmm.
Hmong, and that's the reason why I name my practice Tao Chiropractic to represent. So, it's only one of the 18 clans, Hmong Tao,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
at least it's really saying that, we have a Hmong clinic here in the Bay Area, and
Yeah.
that's the reason why I wanted to do that, to show respect to my Hmong people that, hey, we are our upbringing,
Uh huh.
who we are. We are here. This is our presence. This is my way of giving back to the Hmong community. Even though there's not a big Hmong population here in the Bay Area,
Yeah.
but at least, the Pawatia, we were one of the first settlers here, and I
Yeah.
wanted to represent that, to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, Bay Area, there's really nobody there, but not really Hmong people there, but it is a prestigious environment,
Yeah.
area, and to just put a little stake there and say, hey, we have a Hmong chiropractor there, a Hmong business there, a Hmong owned and run business. That to me means a lot, and that's just
Oh
my way
yeah.
of saying, I have some awesome parents who raised me, and I want to
Hmm.
give things back to them, and of course, like to the Hmong people as well for for their sacrifices and their struggles to be who we are today, to be born in the United States, to giving us to pave the way for us where we can actually be successful, just like the
Hmm.
Migalo, just
Yeah.
the rest of the American people and whoever. So that's the reason why I felt like I should, name it under my last name, which in turn represents all the Hmong people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a
So the short answer is no, you don't get
no.
royalties.
Oh, about the royalty. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk
No,
about
No
it.
no, I'm
equity,
just
no
I'm just
royalties.
playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No,
That's a beautiful story, though.
no, that's I
Yeah.
think that's great because I mean, like you know, I mean, I had a good conversation with you while we were having lunch
Mhm.
and getting to know more and more about you. And the way I see is that first you start off as caring for people, but more of a family man, and also holding that manhood in the house, that representative for your house, and
Important.
that yeah, and that's I think that's very important, especially now. I mean, a lot of what I see is that there's a lot of it's kind of scared or is kind of look frowned upon on or things like that in the world and the society that we're in right now, to be more of a man of the house, leading your family and things. And I grew up in that kind of time of,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you know what, be strong, and the things that don't let things drag you down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because this is just a small step part of your life that you're just passing through. And so that no, that's what I see in you, and I really appreciate knowing people like you. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Like I said, it's never easy being a man, right? Because we're pretty much known for two major things in our life, which is being provider and the protector, right? And that's pretty
yes,
much all it is. There's a saying out there saying that women, children, and dogs are more loved than men are, and but you know what? But it is what it is, and and I take pride in being a man.
yeah,
I'm proud of who I am and the work that I put into to become who I am today.
mm,
And along the way, like I said, I give credit to all the people in my life, and my friends, my family. Everybody has an influence, on me to become who I am today. And shout out to everybody out there. Thank you. You know who you are. But yeah, so again, but a man gotta do what a man gotta do. It's make sure
yeah.
to get the priorities straight. It's not easy, but you know what? We still every single day we wake up and we fight. We fight. We
Oh
fight. We
yeah.
do the best we
Hmm.
can to do what we can for our ourselves and our loved ones, and continue to grow. Because this, like I said, the life is not easy. Life is not easy at all, especially with how the changes in society is and everything. But
Hmm.
you know what? We could just be the best that we can. That's all
Yeah.
you could really ask for.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, for the record,
Mhm.
we appreciate the men in our lives. Okay. And I'm sure and you guys are right. I think it's not voiced enough, but I'm sure your families appreciate you guys.
Hmm.
Dr. Steve, one thing I love about your technique is that you're very holistic, right? Aside from when we come here and we get our adjustment, you're always giving us advice like, hey, do this, eat that, right? So I
Mhm.
love that about what you do into here. How do you think that holistic health, what does it mean to you, first of all? And how does that influence your work here?
It means everything. I mean, the quality of life, health is number one, right? Health is more important than any wealth. We're out there, we're working our 9 to 5, we're putting so much hours out there, but then if you're sacrificing your health at it, you don't know, but you're sacrificing your health for that. Your time is of the essence. So, you have to make sure your health is intact first, because everything follows that. Um, it's so important. Like I can't emphasize it enough. To be holistically sound. And that includes everything from you know spiritually, physically, mentally. You have to make sure you're ready for that. And chiropractic. The reason I like chiropractic, it's a natural approach to that. We don't have to worry about popping a pill or doing surgeries or modifying your body in a way. No, we don't have to do that. We just focus on bringing your body back to where it's supposed to be in the first place, getting rid of all the stress in your body, getting all the areas that your body is stuck, that's not moving the way it should. And eventually, that's where the body starts healing. And you heal it through food, through exercise, through the sun, or
Mhm.
getting the proper supplements and nutrients that you need for your body to
Sorry to interrupt you.
Right.
You just put your microphone closer to
yeah.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
still not used to this, but
No, it's fine.
but
No,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. So that's again, it's in a nutshell. That's pretty much all it is. Getting proper sleep, drinking enough water. Um,
Mhm.
it starts from the inside out. So you make sure you get that first taken care of, and then everything else will follow. taking care of your family, having the energy to do so, and then the money, the success, all that will follow.
Mhm.
So yeah,
With the chiropractor, I mean, you guys are considered in the, I mean, of course, in the health, but are you guys consider also medicinal medicine side,
not no, no, we're just alternative medicine.
alternative
Yeah,
medicine?
alternative
Okay.
medicine is pretty much anything that's outside of the medical profession. Yeah. So
Okay.
we do anything like outside of that, like acupuncture is part of it, massage therapy, physical therapy. They're more considered alternative medicine.
So when you talk about like, so I'm not really familiar. I like honestly, I'll tell you this. I don't think I don't know much about holistic. I mean, at the same time, I think we've used holistic in our life all the time, but especially in our culture. But do you do a lot of, or do chiropractor go towards more the holistic side than the other side,
Yeah, we definitely
or
do it more holistic because everything we do
yeah?
is more natural.
Okay.
Everything we do is natural. It doesn't. There is no chemical I'm putting into your body or anything. We're
Mm-hmm.
just restoring your body back to its original form, like back to where it's supposed to be, and
Mm-hmm.
that includes your joints,
Mm-hmm.
your bones, your muscles.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Once we take care of the physical stuff, everything else is gonna fall in place. Especially we look into a spine because why? The spine, it houses all the nervous
Yeah.
the nervous system, right? The nerve, it controls everything in your body,
Uh-huh.
your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your liver, everything. So we want to make sure the spine is healthy because when the spine is healthy, your nervous system is gonna be healthy, and when your whole body's healthy, everything else, that's where it stems from, the spine, and goes out to the rest of your body, your arms and shoulders and legs, and and all the different organs of your body, and that's how you really feel good. Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that every time I get, come here and get adjusted by you, after getting adjusted by you, I feel this huge, like, I don't know, just wave of things coming to my head. It's
Uh-huh.
like a buildup.
That's your
Can
nervous
can you
system
explain?
being fired. That's your nervous system working again, because we're so used to our day to day life that we kind of shut it down.
Yeah.
We kind of dim it down, and what we don't realize that that's not really good for our body. But once
Mm-hmm.
we turn on the light, what I call it turning on the light,
Mm-hmm.
everything in the body starts working again.
Wow.
That's where I call it turning on the power of your body. That's where you
Mm.
feel that rush. You feel energized. Now you feel good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Yeah. Some.
adjusted not too long ago, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so you just feel naturally good, and that this feeling,
Mm-hmm.
this is how you're supposed to be feeling 100% of the time. Supposed
Wow.
to be just that. It's a daily stress in our
Yeah.
life, like
Mm.
the
We're so
posture.
used
Yeah,
to,
we're so used
yeah.
to being crammed with stress and work, and our environmentals, everything, right? So everything
Yeah.
kind of has a factor in it. So our goal here is just to de-stress you, open up your body so that your bodies go back to its normal flow, with nature. And that's what it's all about, really. We're not here to chasing pain is easy. Getting rid of pain is
Uh-huh.
easy. I'm not That's not when a patient come in with pain, I don't look at the pain. I look at how's the patient functioning, how are they moving. I'm
Mm.
looking more into that stuff. That's a real doctor should learn how to do that first. Instead of saying,
Mm.
oh, you have headache, okay, let me get you Tylenol. Oh,
Yeah.
you have this a cramp in your back, let me give some muscle spasm.
Mm-hmm.
It's medical. Most medical doctors, again, I'm not bashing medical doctors,
Yeah.
but some medical doctors, that's all they do. Okay, yeah, they're just masking. They're not fixing the source of the problem. Chiropractors, we find what the source is and we fix that problem. There's a difference between. That's the reason why I'm so into this. I'm so passionate about what I do because I help them find the root, the cause of the problem, and then we fix that. That's why. And I've had great results. So yeah, I want to continue doing that.
Yeah. And Dr. Steve, I noticed that a lot of people, their first like chiropractic experience, they usually only see a chiropractor after like a car accident, right? Or like, or
That's a
after
very
they've been
common thing.
hurt. And I didn't know until we started seeing you that you can see a chiropractic regularly just for preventative or just to maintain your
Wellness,
body.
maintenance. Yep.
Can you give a little bit insight of if you weren't injured and someone just came to see you, what would their first visit be like?
Well, like I say, every doctor does every chiropractor does a little differently. Here we're holistic. We take the full body approach. So when a patient comes to me, no complaints, no car accidents, no pain anywhere, they say, I'm just curious about what
Yeah.
chiropractic is. I'm like, okay. So I'll give a little demo to say, what we're doing is we're just restoring everything in your body, making sure everything's working the way it should. Of course, most likely than not, they're after giving their adjustment, they're gonna feel like, whoa, what was that? Like brand new again. It's almost like
Yes.
they're walking out of a new body.
Right.
Why? Because we're just here, just opening up, like I said, it's the same concept. We're just turning on the light because their nervous system and their body has been dimmed down or has been shut off. So I'm just here to just make sure with the chiropractic adjustment, it's gonna just naturally turn on all the lights and make sure the power source in your body is moving again, the energy is moving again. That way it gives you better quality of sleep, better quality of life, more energy out through the day. So lots of benefits. I mean, I've seen patients get better from asthma, from seizures.
Yeah.
Funny story, but I just we had two Somalian guys, right? Two brothers. They came in and they did the same thing. Oh, I'm here because my wife brought me here. I'm like, okay, cool. Gave them adjustment. The wife called me back the next day and say, "What did you do to them? They're pooping all day
Oh,
long."
what?
Because the thing is, they didn't tell me they were constipated. They were
Oh.
constipated, and both of them they've been pooping all day
Oh
long because
my
they were able to
goodness.
eventually after giving them the adjustment, their nervous system to the intestines and everything and was able to be light turned on, so they were able to start letting it all out.
Wow.
Yeah, so and of course then they were kind of shy to come back in, but they came back in. They admitted everything. They're like, "We need more of that." So it was a funny story, and then of course that's gonna lead me to another example. Okay, one of them probably the most complimentary or one of the most compliment I've ever seen for a patient was one of my patients. I guess her husband, they were trying to conceive. They were trying to have their first baby, and she didn't tell me about that. She had no idea. We were just going treating. I didn't even know what their plan was. I was just started treating her, and all of a sudden she was so happy. One time she came and she said, "Dr. Thao, you got me pregnant." I'm like, I did not get you pregnant. but then what she meant was that I was able to adjust her to a point where it got her eggs, her ovary,
Yeah.
her menstrual cycle
Reproductive
back into
system, yeah.
normal cycle, and her partner was able to conceive.
Oh,
And they
wow.
had their first baby because of her proper adjustment. So she was so happy.
My goodness.
And things like this are so rewarding to me. This is the reason why. It's the unseen things. Like it's kind of like, okay, I'm just here making sure your body's working the way it should, and then all these miracles they just happen on the side. I wasn't even chasing it. I wasn't even chasing the pain. I wasn't chasing about getting them pregnant. I wasn't chasing about getting these two Somalian guys pooping. That's not my thing. My thing is, you know what? You come see me. I'm just making sure your body's working the way it should, and everything will fall into place. And that's the beautiful thing about what I do.
So come here and he will get you if you're trying to have kids.
Yeah.
Dr.
This is the
Steve
way.
can get you pregnant, huh?
Yeah,
With the
but
disclaimer.
No,
disclaimer for
that's
sure.
that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
those are just some of the. Yeah, those are
Like
definitely some of the
success
things.
stories,
The success
yeah.
stories. Oh, I had many of those.
Oh
I
my
could go on, but then
goodness.
again, those are just two that stands out. The most recent, of
Wow.
course, are the two Somali guys, and the one
Yeah.
that stands out the most that so shocked me was when my patient came in to Dr. Thao, you got me pregnant. I'm like, no, I did not get you pregnant.
In front of
Yeah,
everybody, huh?
I know. So that was just one of those incidents. Those
Well, I mean,
funny moments.
I was gonna ask, like, you and like, so you're not that tall or that big
Yep.
of a person.
5'8".
I mean, you probably have a lot of strength, but have you ever had those people that were just, they're
Yes, of
6'5",
course, of
huge
course.
people,
Yeah.
and what do you do to say adjust how you do it for other people that are smaller that you can get your arm around them?
Yeah.
But for those bigger people, what do you do for
Again,
them?
it comes down to technique.
Yeah.
Once you know, because you're thinking of the human body, it's not much different between a man and a woman, or how
Yeah.
tall, how big they are. As long as you know where their anatomy are, that's the reason we go to school for, to know where the anatomies are. Once you know the anatomy, that's where you got to use your training as a chiropractor to leverage certain joints, certain levers, certain areas. And in this season, we have certain tables. This table goes up and down to accommodate, how tall a person or how big a person is. And so it's just little tools that we have. And of course, it comes down to practice and the experience, right? The more you practice and experience on these bigger people, the easier it is you're able to get the adjustment and get the motion that's needed for the benefit for the patient.
So you've been doing this for how long now?
16, 17 years now.
16, 17 years. I did a little research about you. And it looks like you used to work for EA Sports.
You used to work for EA Sports, yes.
Now I have to ask you. I mean, you're in the Bay Area. There's a lot of famous people come over here. There's a lot of noticeable people that
course.
come over here. Who would you say is the most famous person you ever
Oh
know?
wow.
That you, yeah.
Well, I could think of two. I'm not sure you guys know who Matt Barnes is. He's
Matt Barnes.
Yeah,
Yep.
he used to be an ex Warriors basketball player. I have pictures of him all the time. Yeah, every time he comes out, I always take pictures of him. And then
Isn't he with the Sacramento's now?
Oh no, he's retired. He's retired.
He's
now.
retired. Oh, yeah.
He's retired now.
Yeah,
He
Matt
used to
Barnes,
work in. He used to be a player there too, in Sacramento. And then one time, a big CEO guy named. I'm pretty sure you guys probably know who he is, but his name is Charles Schwab. He came in time. He was definitely one of my patient, and he very humble guy, very humble guy. He had a driver waiting outside the door.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
his driver took him here. Yeah, it was a cool experience. So just, again, to be in the Bay Area and see this kind of things, get this kind of connection. It's a very humbling experience.
So was it like word of mouth that got them to come here,
I
or
guess it was just my reviews online,
Oh,
because
okay,
I have a
cool.
pretty good following on Yelp. I'm pretty big on Yelp, and of course, Google is a pretty good source as well. So
Uh-huh.
it's just my name being out there. And
Yeah.
Matt Barnes, the thing is that he has a summer camp at EA. That's the reason
Mm.
why I was able to meet him. And when I met him there, he remembers me. The funny thing is when these celebrities remember you, it's kind of like, hey, he remembers, he knows who I am. So the funny thing, when he came back in this summer camp the following year, I love it when he's like, hey, Dr. Tao. I'm like, wait, he's calling me? It's one of those weird kind of a thing. But you know what? It's humbling. It's a humbling experience, for them to still remember you because you know that you did something right. Because people, they remember you by the moments, like what did you do for them, or how did you make them feel, right? Yeah. And I remember he had a kink in his neck and his lower back, and we were able to dig it out. So he remembered that point on. So yeah, I was a proud moment for sure. But then, but besides them, there's a lot of other people that I've, that's like the Olympic who has been to the Olympics, and
Mm.
trainers like, for example, the athletes from all over the state, like Stanford University, San Francisco State, you name it, so they're all over. You just can't. You, at a point, you get to a point in time in your career where you just see people as people. You don't really see them as like, oh, I should treat this person better, or no, I don't do that. You come in here, I don't care if you're the richest man or the poorest person. I'm gonna treat you the same way, and that's always been my thing, because everybody at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all have all the same parts, Majority of us just have all the same parts, and it's easy to have that connection with, Yeah. So
That's awesome. Must be good to meet all of those
yeah,
people.
it's nice. It's nice. It's fun. It's fun because you get a chance to kind of know a little about
Yeah,
who they are, and that realize that they're just human beings, not just like us.
right. That's awesome. Are there any misconceptions or myths that you hear people speak about when it comes to chiropractic care?
Yeah, I mean, there's people saying, "Oh, be careful, they might stroke you out," right? That's the
Oh
big thing,
yeah,
right?
we've heard stories
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
they're gonna hurt you. But you know what? That's called instilling fear into people's mind. For you
Mm,
to really know for yourself, you have to go and do it yourself, And just like in life, right? If you're fearful of something, you're fearful of chasing after your dream, it's never gonna happen.
that's
If
right.
you're fearful, you put fear. For me, I've learned over time is that fear is most likely just an illusion.
Hmm.
It's just there to kind of block you from doing what you need to do to go to the next step, or to get that next promotion, or to get the next thing that you want,
Right.
right? Um, and that's what fear does. That fear, you know, um, but if you know how to overcome that, you never know what the rewards are as well. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to your health, never put fear in a way. You just gotta be smart about it. But chiropractic is actually a great first steps to go to consult, especially when you're hurting and you need some kind of help, because chiropractic, we're very gentle with what we do. It's
Right.
not as bad as what people think.
Right.
Like, oh, they're gonna hurt you. So don't believe all the negativity about it. To really know for yourself, you just gotta do your own research and try for yourself.
Hmm.
That's probably my best advice towards it. And don't be afraid. Don't never be afraid when it comes to your health. Never put fear in front of your health, because I've seen so many people come in here and after the first visit they're like
Yeah.
they're like lifelong patients of mine now,
Right.
all because they were just so afraid to take the first step. But once you secure the first step and realize that you could trust me, I'm going to be able to help you in your journey, and once you gain that trust, that's it. Everything kind of falls in place. If fear is gone, there's no more
Right.
fear there.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I think I definitely like I can see where you're saying where the fear. I think a lot of the times like as some people know that I did law enforcement for a
Mhm.
long time, and I've seen a lot of chiropractor, and I think sometimes you get some bad apples and good
Exactly.
apples,
Not every doctor is the
and
same.
yeah,
Exactly.
and it's always gonna be like that. But I mean, you know, I would say this: I've been to a lot of chiropractor. I mean, when I say a lot, it's a lot. And I paid a lot of money and things like that. But I would say this: your adjustment is very different. It's more like hands on, getting into the deep tissue of what needs to be fixed
Exactly.
there. And that's what I appreciate. That's why whenever I'm traveling 2 or 3 hours to come over here, just to get some adjustment. I think that's where a lot of things falls into is the experience and knowing what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, just like in any kind of
For
business,
sure. For sure.
you know. So, but in doing this business and doing the chiropractor business, has it changed like your health too? How do you take care of Like, do you say, okay, you know what, I need to do this and this for
Oh,
myself
for sure.
so I can continue to do
Definitely,
this?
yeah. In the chiropractic profession, we have networks of doctors here too.
Uh-huh.
That I have two friends who are close by here. Whenever I need an adjustment, I definitely will go to them, and
Mm,
whenever they need an adjustment, they would definitely come to me. We barter. We
I
take care of
see.
each other's back.
Uh-huh.
We have to. It's a must in this profession because if we don't, for myself, I need at least once a week. At the
Yeah.
latest time, once every 2 weeks. If I don't get
Mm,
that,
okay.
I could definitely really feel it in my body.
Mm,
So, but most importantly, it's about a lot of self care. You got to always take care of yourself first before you take care of anybody else, right?
yeah.
Again, that's very, very important. So, and I see a lot of patients, so I'm at a point now where I need to, make sure I'm really ready for a long day. But
Mm,
my job does keep me physically fit, keep me physically strong. But I just gotta make sure my sleep is on par, 7 to 8
yeah.
hours a night, and then my diet is on par too. So
Uh-huh.
so you gotta make sure you're in good shape to be doing that. So yeah, I would say you have to preach what you teach, as well. Yeah, you have to
Definitely, yeah.
live by what you preach, um, and I'm fortunate I have people who understands that, who chiropractic friends who are understanding, and we take care of each other in that way.
It's
Nice.
Yeah.
literally watch each other's back,
Oh, we
huh?
have to. We have to. We have to. Yeah. Whenever I need them only on a phone call,
Right.
they're not too far. I could just go to their office and I
Mm,
just get an adjustment. So yeah, we take care of each other that way.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you, Dr. Steve. We've known you for a really long time, and you are like, you really do practice what you preach,
Yeah,
you
you have
know?
to.
And I think for you, like, that's what makes you stand out because your energy is just so contagious. And I would say to everyone, if who has had a bad chiropractic experience, don't stop at that first one,
Oh yeah,
right? Keep looking
exactly.
until you find the right doctor who's fit for you. And I think
Totally,
people,
totally
they
agree.
kind of get deterred after they have that bad
Point.
experience.
Good point. Because like I said, just because you have one bad experience with one doctor doesn't mean all doctors are like
Right,
that. So
right.
yeah.
so again, you just get don't stop there. Just keep trying. Different. Do your own research. Look at go Google them, Yelp
Yeah.
Yeah.
them, do what you
Hmm.
need to do, but don't stop because this is actually a great way to naturally, in the right way to really take care of your body, without having
Yeah.
to deal with medications or surgery or anything like that. Um, yeah.
So I kind of want to move towards the business
Mhm.
Okay.
side. The business. So the business. I mean, starting in the beginning. I mean, have your family? Did you grow up with a business mentor in your family? That's why you wanted to do your own thing. Because I mean, we talked a little bit about like you were trying to do it with, you were trying to work a 9 to 5 job or doing this and doing
Mhm.
that, but at the end of the day, you kind of came and made a decision of yourself, say, you know what, I can do this myself. I can start my own business and the structure of it. And so that's the question is that in your life, did you have a mentor that was in business or things like that?
Question. No, I did not have a business mentor. It's kind of funny how I feel like it was fate for me to be the first business mentor for myself. Like
Yeah.
really just look into myself and kind of like say, you know what? I was fortunate. Again, it goes back to my roots, right? Saying that, you know what, of our people, the Hmong people, and realizing that we have this great opportunity to come to this country. And for me being born here, I feel like, how far can I really take this? Honestly, I didn't even know I was going to be a doctor, to be honest. I have a funny story. Let me just kind of give you a quick
Yes,
funny story
share.
of how I became a chiropractor. Okay. So in high school, okay, senior year, everybody was like very. I guess everybody was had a notification or got a memo that they were gonna sign up for Fresno State, right? Because this is in Fresno. I guess I must have missed it because I didn't sign up for college. I'm like, I thought that I was just gonna transition from, how
Yeah.
middle school to high school. I thought that I was gonna just do that. I'm like, okay, we're just
Just
gonna transition.
automatic,
Yeah,
huh?
it's gonna be automatic, right? Nope. It's funny thing. All my friends, they went out to Fresno State, Fresno City, wherever they had to go. They were receiving checks for, like, they give you the financial aid check, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they were using all this money to like buy cars, and I'm like, I was waiting my check. Like, where's my check? And then later on, and then also school started, and then they went to school, and I'm like, how come I'm not enrolled? So I went to Fresno State the first day of school with nothing, like no letters, and then they realized, oh, you're not even on our enrollment, and I'm like, but I graduated from Fresno High, right? And the funny thing is, they're like, well, you're supposed did you enroll? I'm like, I didn't know. I didn't know if I had to enroll. So again, I've always been kind of like the black sheep of like the group or something. Like I'm kind of like I
Yeah.
kind of like float up and go into La La Land, even though I had good grades. I was doing fine. And then that was how I missed my college years. So for that whole entire semester, none, right? And then at that time, I was going to church, and my pastor was like, "Why don't you go to my church, Seventh Day Adventist Church?" So he suggested I go to his school because the private schools they start a little later. So
Yeah.
so it wasn't too late for me to still sign up for that, even though it was the
Mhm.
last minute. It's a private institution. That's the reason why I was able to do it. I'm like, oh well, I mean, might as well go there, right? So I
Mhm.
just went there, and it's like, what do you want to major? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to major in,
Mhm.
but I always want to work in the medical field with my hands. That's all I
Yeah.
knew. I didn't at that point. I didn't even know what chiropractic was. I'd never been to a chiropractor.
Uh-huh.
But then I'm like, oh, that's similar to my consulate. Oh, that's similar to physical therapy. You want to be like a physical therapist? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So it's like I'm saying, yeah, I don't even know what it was. I was like,
Right.
okay, let me do that. So we majored in physical therapy, and then after that, um, I did all the prerequisite courses. Good thing I did all the prerequisite courses because those prerequisite courses were very similar to getting to chiropractic school as well. So good thing I was able to go there, did all the prerequisite courses, and then about 2 years in, my grade wasn't the best. It was like maybe around a 2.8, and that was not high enough to get into physical therapy school. So I figured, oh crap, what do I do now? And then I was singing, we were singing at a church choir during the time. I wasn't even a singer. I don't know why became a singer. I just became a singer. So it's really weird. Like, 'cause I'm one of those person who just kind of like just go wherever. So I feel
Mhm.
like God was like in a way leading me
Yeah.
to a certain position. I didn't even know because I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I'm gonna go join here. Oh, that looks fun. I'll go here. And all of a sudden, I came across a chiropractor who was in the choir. He's like, he asked me, he says, what are you majoring in? I'm like, oh, physical therapy. He says, oh, okay. Have you ever thought about becoming a chiropractor? Because it's similar, right? And I was like, what? I couldn't pronounce it. Chiro, what? What is that? And he says, why don't you come to my office and then I'll give you a demo. So I came to his office and he gave me an adjustment. And I remember the loudest pop. I didn't tell him, but I had like the headache for 3, 4 months. I didn't tell him because I was
Mm.
burying books all day long trying to
Yeah.
figure out, what I wanted to be and studying and just the sake of studying because I was a physical therapy major at that time. And but I seen I was hopeless because my grade wasn't high enough to get into a course. I was lost. I was just lost college student. And then right when he did that, my headaches of 3, 4 months gone, right? And my whole back, he did everything. I felt brand new again. I felt like I was standing straighter. Everything just felt like so much better. I was like, what was this? And that whole entire night, I stood up, Google, like pretty much did all the research I can on chiropractic. And then the next morning, I went to my consult, changed my major, and the rest was history. That's how I started focusing on becoming a chiropractor. So yeah, so that was it. And then again, I took the prerequisite courses. We were able to get into a chiropractic school, and then from that point on, I never looked back. And like I said, when I became a chiropractor, when I graduated from chiropractic school, I worked for another chiropractor here close by here, about a mile from here. He's already established. I worked for him for about 4 or 5 years, and then I decided it was time. It was time for me to just open my own thing. And this place, my office here, opened up, and that's how me and the acupuncture, we decided, you know what, we're gonna get together and open this office together. He's gonna take half of the rent, I'm paying half of the rent, and then together we were able to be where we are today. And that was it. It wasn't like I had like a business mentor who showed me the ropes. It was almost by chance, by accidents that everything in my life has always by accident. Like I didn't know this place was going to open when I need to go. I didn't know that I was going to end up being a chiropractor working for somebody as an associate. Until it all happened. It just all fell in place. But I really believe it's my faith in God too, because for some way I've always been a believer that there's always somebody watching me, and
Yeah.
and, and there's been a lot of times where I feel like I'm lost and I was confused. I didn't know what I want to do, but I always find a way out. Just kind of go with the flow, follow your bliss. And it just led me here. And looking back, I never thought about. Um, yeah, I never thought about being here. If you were 5 years ago, you would say, "Hey, you would be like this," and I'd be like, "Oh no, no, I don't think so." But you know what? Here I am. Being in practice here for about 12 years now, and it's actually gone better. A lot of ups and downs, especially during COVID and quarantine. But we survived that. It's like I said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that's exactly what happened. So we survived COVID, and a lot of businesses shut down, but we were one of the few businesses that are still up and running, and I'm thankful for that. So yeah, that's why we're going stronger now. We're back on track. We're running a lot better now. We're business is picking up a lot
Yeah. You're
faster now.
booked
And yeah,
now. Yeah.
we're booked now. So it's getting really, really exciting going forward.
Wow. And all of that journey with going to school and then starting your own practice here too, was there ever a time where it was just like the deepest downest that you've ever been, and how did you overcome that?
That would definitely be COVID.
Mm.
During COVID quarantine, that was my deepest downfall in my ever career.
Mhm.
Um, Simply because, like I said, but then I realized I wasn't alone because a lot of people were in the same shoes. A lot of people were in the same shoes. So I told myself, you know what? Okay, should we just shut the office down for now and call it quits and just cash out the Bay Area because we have enough equity in our home to just cash out and live somewhere else more comfortably. But we decided or stick around and just try to overcome this situation. But you know what? I told myself, no, I'm gonna use this opportunity to do something different. So I decided to work for a company called the Joint Chiropractic. They're a franchise, right? And from that experience, I learned two valuable lessons. Number one is I do not want to be an employee. That's number one. And number two is I'm glad I did it because I felt like it was a necessity for me to do because I became a better chiropractor through it. Because I
Wow.
was seeing more patients, I was developing a new set of skills that I've always wanted to try, and sure enough, it made me a better chiropractor. You know, it's kind of like sometimes you got to go through the fire to
Yeah.
become, something better.
Right.
And I used that opportunity to do that.
Right.
And it was challenging, but I'm glad I did it because I was driving 30 minutes to San Jose and 30 minutes back. It was like about an hour traveling back and
Mhm.
forth, 5 days a week just to get that burn, that fire,
Yeah.
to become who I am today. And you know what? Looking back, I did that for 8.5 months, and I'm glad I did it because I would never be who I am
Yeah.
today without that.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with I mean, doing business.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm just gonna turn off my phone real quick. Yeah, and doing business, you basically like, and being your own owner and things, you basically take all the risk to yourself. And I think exactly what you said, that when I started the financial industry and started my own business company called Envision Growth Agency, it was all of, I'm not sure we'll make it, but we'll make it happen.
Exactly.
And I think that typically in business, in the first couple years are the most crucial year of your life. Just like real estate, some of the people say, "Hey, real estate, if you can't pass it the first, or if you can't do it the first or second years, you won't be able to do
Yep.
it at all." And I think it's very important because if you get past those couple years and being able to be not fully successful to where the maximize that you want to be in those first couple years, but it's is learning the process of it, and it's really the process of going through these stuff. Then you can be more successful in the next year. And I think with you, what you said about COVID. I mean, I had clients that they own barber shops, and they were, I mean, they're people, it's and they're considered non-essential. And a lot of those barbershops, I mean, they were going out of business left and right. A lot of my clients, they were saying, you know what, we were cutting it out of our garage. And you know what, I had one client. He owns a barbershop in Elk Grove, and he said, I couldn't cut at my shop. So what I did was that I did open it up at my house, but there were so many people wanting me to cut that it created a line at my
Uh-huh.
parking lot
Uh-huh.
going all the way through the neighborhood,
Yep.
and the neighborhood hated
Yeah, 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 yeah,
that
yeah.
because they could never find
Uh-huh.
parking.
There we go. You
But
gotta be creative
but
though.
yeah, but I think it's so crucial because I mean, no matter what, the only person that's really going to take care of you is yourself, and you know who's going to take care of your family, yourself.
Exactly.
And that's why I think that is so. What you do here is so important, especially even during COVID. I mean, you're having those hard times. It's like even for us in the financial industry. I mean, it's people person to person. And I would think it was hard for us already, and then I would think that for you guys, or you guys aren't able to do it through Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least at
yeah.
least we
It
can still
would,
do ours through
Yeah.
Zoom. Yeah.
it would.
Social distancing 6 feet from
Right.
each other, right? Like, yeah, I'm literally like, you see how my adjustment, I'm literally like hugging my
Yeah.
patients and getting the adjustments into this. So for us to even be that close to them, yeah, it's almost like, but so that's why face masks and everything, even though we were essential, we could keep it open. It's just that people were afraid, of that moment. So I totally get it. Well, we took a break, and everything happens for a reason. I think we all became wiser and stronger through this whole experience. From all industry, we became smarter. So, but it's a different world we live in now. It's not the same as how it was before. Most of the companies here in the Silicon Valley, they're on a hybrid schedule now. It's only 3 days into the office and 2 days at home. That's like the new thing now. Most, yeah, it's not like you're driving to work every day like it used to be before COVID. So
And people actually buy it to work remotely now too.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
They like
It's
that
a big
luxury
thing
now.
now.
It is definitely a
Exactly.
luxury. Dr. Steve, when you first opened up this practice, how did you attract patients in? Was it through social media? Was it through word of mouth?
Word of mouth was the biggest thing for me. I'm really good at asking my patients to bring in their friends, their families, their coworkers, and I emphasize all the time,
Hmm.
and I just have the most awesome patients. They will bring everybody they know, and all you need is just a few patients who are willing to do that for you, and your business is gonna grow. So my first month, I never had a negative month. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
I never
So
had a
you just
negative
hit the
year.
ground
It just, yeah,
running.
it's, yeah,
Yeah.
because you gotta understand, when I transferred over here, my from the other chiropractor that I was working for, a lot of my clientele who knew me, that they just follow me. So that's the reason why I got fortunate in that way, because they were able to provide enough business to get my business started without even having to go negative. So I know that they say the first 2 years are the most crucial for any business, because more than what, 70 or 80%, like they,
Yeah.
they, they
Oh
usually
yeah.
died
They
out.
fail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I that was fortunately it wasn't my case, because
Mm.
when I got here, we had the ground running. We were just like boom, 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 boom. But until, of course, there's some unforeseen things that happen along the way, when insurance companies, like health insurance companies, they started changing their policy, paying less, and so
Mm.
that's why it kind of took some turbulence. But you know what? I learned to not rely too much on insurance. So I learned to just change my practice. So along the way, you change your practice according
Yeah.
to what's needed. You
Right.
you, you adapt to what's going on, and now we're more cash based than we are relying on insurance, which is a good thing, because that way it's more, we take the middleman out, which is the insurance company, and it's just me and the patient. That's it. We keep it really simple like that,
I know that the health insurance, they're very, especially as a chiropractor, they're hard. It's so difficult to get into it. Is that right? Into it and get the ball rolling
Yeah,
between
yes and no. It
the
depends. It's just a lot of
systems.
it's a
Yeah.
lot of headaches dealing with insurance
Yeah.
company, because when you agree to be in network with them, you're playing by their rules, and you abide by their policies and everything. And it's great for those who are like starting out and they want to like start building some kind of like patient based. And yeah, you could go that route. But I'm at a point now where I don't need to do that. So like that's the reason I could just go more just cash, and yeah, we still have patients that has insurances, so we could still go through that route. But in the meantime, it's not a necessity. So you just gotta get over that hump. Let's put it that way. Once you get over that hump and you could actually go on cruise control, then you could be more creative with your business agenda. Yeah. So that's where you're at. Like I said, I've been doing it in my own business. I've been here for about 12 years now. But the first, and like I said, I never had a down month, so things just kind of went up, and it's kind of just cruise control. Took a little dip because of COVID, but then now we're bringing it back up. So yeah, life. So thinking about how my career has been with business wise, I've been one of the fortunate few, because I have a lot of friends who started out in the negative. They went to the bank, they borrowed all this money, and they're just trying to crawl themselves out of the whole. 5 years in, they're still trying to crawl themselves out. It's really difficult. It's very, very stressful. So yeah, you just got to kind of figure out. Like I said, you count your blessings, and be grateful for what you have, and continue doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
To keep it running. Yeah. So.
And as a successful chiropractor now, what advice would you give to people who want to get into this industry, but maybe they're reluctant to?
Well, first off, you gotta know if it's for you or not, right? That's the most important thing, because um, we have people who are I graduated with. They're no longer doing chiropractic anymore. Why? Because when they get a taste of what the real world's about, how to run your own practice, seeing patients physically, um, and you realize that it's not for them,
Yeah.
then they give up easily, and they're like, it's not for me anymore. But by the time they already went through the whole schooling, and they had their doctor's degree, they spent all this money to like the student loans debt to become who they are, but yet it's hard to turn back on that. So that's number one, to find out if this really truly for you. Chiropractic is one of those professions where yes, you could choose it, but ultimately at the end, it chooses you. It chooses you. It chooses. We want you to be part of what we do, because it's a lot, because like I tell people all the time, just because I make adjusting patients easy and fun, because I'm always like I have a good
Right.
vibe, and I'm having fun, and what they don't see is that because I make it look easy, it doesn't mean it's
Yes,
easy. You see
that's
what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah. So as you guys know, sometimes when I do see back-to-back patients, it's physical work. I'm sweating. But then you know what? I'm still smiling. You gotta come from a
Yep.
source where you're doing something good for another human
Yeah.
being, and you're helping them, and when you're giving from the heart, and that's the one you gotta ask yourself: do you have that? When you have that, that's what I call the heart of a giver, or heart of someone who really cares, a heart of a true healer who wants to help. You see what I'm saying? and when you have that, you could become a great chiropractor. So start from that point on, and then of course find a mentor, find somebody who you can look up to. Again, I never really had that, but I've have seen it be very helpful for most people who are who want to get into this field and become successful. So, do what you must, but like I said, ideally comes down like how bad do you want it, just like in life, right? You want something valued, you would do what you need to do to make it
So with I mean, in the Asian community,
happen.
if you're not a doctor, a lawyer,
Yes.
or somebody special up, you're really not that much to your parents. But
Okay.
in some cases,
Yeah.
well, like your parents and them, they always have like aspiration
Yeah.
for you to be
Expectation.
yeah,
Yeah.
expectation to be for you to become like a doctor, a
Uh-huh.
lawyer, engineer,
Yeah.
or something like that. When you became a doctor, how did your family feel? Was it like,
It's funny because you know what? They're definitely proud of me, but
yeah,
I never had the stress of because my dad passed away when I was 10, right? So
yeah,
I became like I kind of had to step up and be my own man, of the house.
hmm,
And at the same time, since I'm the second oldest out of 8 kids in the family, I
okay,
wanted to be a role model for my younger siblings as well. So I've always knew that I wanted to be somebody. I didn't even say I don't okay physical therapist. I mean, come on, that's a major time. I didn't even know what I wanted to do in college, right?
right,
I just kind of went with the flow, went with the where the wind blew me.
Yeah.
I would go. And sure enough, it led me to become a doctor. Out of
yeah,
all things, my mom never pressured me. I'll say, "Oh, Steve, you had to become a doctor." No, my mom
Mm.
never said anything. Just live your life, be happy. Just do be your best, and you know what? And that was enough for me. For me, it was enough for me to trigger something in my mind, going, "Yes, I want to become my best. I want to become somebody, and I feel like with the faith of God behind me, I could do anything and become anything. And sure enough, it led me to be who I am today. And looking back, I'm blessed. I'm so fortunate. I'm so grateful. I'm very happy with who I am today. I'm very proud of myself. But at the same time, I'm also very, me, I have a big heart. I'm a giver.
Yes, you're so generous.
Anybody who needs my help, I will go out and grab them and say, you know what, let's do this. Let's do it together. That's just who I am in my nature. So.
you keep saying, I'm so blessed,
Mhm.
and it's like, yeah, it's like, well, let me ask you. I mean, I'm not sure if you're a religious
Mhm.
man or if you're following any of those, but me, I grew up in a Christian
Mhm.
home. I'm a very believer in what God has
Yes.
given me and what He has laid down. There's a foundation for
Exactly.
everybody here, and that's what. And it seems like He has put His fingerprints all over you,
Mm-hmm.
and through all the life that and the things that you're telling me. And I think that's a incredible journey, especially when you have principles that that it's not principles of your own, but it's a principle of somebody higher
That's
up that
true.
you're following
Yep.
with. And I think that's such a lost, almost like in this society in here. But I mean, I know that you have
Mm-hmm.
kids, and growing up, your kids growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and for you having a future for them, are you kind of, do you worry about, hey, what are they gonna get themselves into as they get to that
Well,
age?
like to say, I feel like just like how my mom feels about us. She's like,
Yeah.
you be happy, just be
Hmm.
happy, follow your bliss. Because I feel like they already have instilled in what they want to do and what they want to be.
Hmm.
So even if they don't want to be, don't know what they want to be, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like my kids, one could be a straight A, one could be a straight C student. I treat them exactly the same. Take them both to get some ice cream. No problem.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter because a grade is just a grade. I don't judge them by how well they do at school, but it's more like what, how prepare them in real life. That's more my concern. I don't care how they
Yeah.
do at school. My thing is more like, okay, are you ready for the real world? Like what's really true, what's out there.
The real world's really
It's cold.
cold.
It's
Yeah.
cold. That's the reason why you gotta make sure they know how to sew their own jackets.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, it's
right.
very
Yeah.
important. So, but yeah, so as parents, all we could do is just prepare them, give them the necessities. A shelter, food, water, and lots of love, and then eventually let them be who they are. You cannot.
Yeah.
I don't believe in forcing somebody to be. You should be a doctor. You should be a lawyer. I don't believe in that. Because you're dimming who they are. You're dimming their light. And I don't believe in dimming the light. They should fully be themselves. Okay. So.
Do your kids know that you're a doctor and that this is what you do?
They do. They
They
do.
do.
Yeah, they do. But then they don't. I don't think they know the significance of what I do, though.
Right.
They're like, oh, doctor. Oh, they say, oh, okay, cool. But then young, like they're still
Right.
young, so they don't know the that
The
that
value that you
yeah.
bring. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I brought my son here once and he says, "Hey, Dad, can I come see you watch it?" Just yeah, come by. And then he saw me adjusting, sweating, and everything. He said, "Dad, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I don't want to be a chiropractor.
You
That's a
work
lot
really
of
hard.
work."
Yeah.
Yeah, so he makes me smile. I'm like, now you know that it's not. It's a lot more than just the title.
Yeah.
It's the work
It's
behind it.
hard work.
Yeah, because this is what I'm trained to do. This is why I do what I do.
Right.
And once they see like, wow, this do a lot of work, Dad. I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, now you know. You
Yeah.
want to come see me do work? He's like, do you want to be a chiropractor? Like, no, I don't want to be a chiropractor anymore.
Aw.
But then that's when they were still younger.
You're right.
But but like I said, if they want to pick up, great. If they don't, it's fine. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't have any expectation because everybody has their own path in life,
That's right.
and I just want them to be happy with whichever path that they choose,
Hmm.
and they're destined to be.
Right.
So and I'll accept them for anything that they want to do.
I agree. I think with me, like I'm more worried about the character of my
Hmm.
kids versus like their
Exactly.
performance academically. Like,
Exactly.
are you
Exactly.
a kind person? Are you are you forgiving? Right. That's for me, like that's my biggest worry in life. Is
Exactly.
like, am I raising kind kids?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's really refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Is there like core values or principles or belief that you run by when you're doing your business here and in your personal life too?
Yeah, you know what? There's power in people. There's definitely power in people. There's power in people. There's power in numbers. But people we tend to forget about that. We tend to forget about that. That oh we are sacrificing our time, so we should chase after money. In my profession, what I do as a chiropractor and in my business here, I never put money first. It's always the people first, and then money follows. You see what I'm saying? So as long as I put the people's need, if they come to me for what their need, I just focus on that. I focus on solving their problem, solving whatever they need my help for, and the money will just follow. And that's for me is success. That leads to success. You see what I'm saying? So I've always followed that model, that mentality, and it never failed me. And another thing I live is I don't know. I may be just the luckiest man, but every time I give something back, just the littlest thing, it comes back to me tenfold.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like I could just like for example, if I just take you guys out to lunch, next thing you know, in a few weeks, like that money that I spent, it just comes back into like out of
Yeah.
nowhere. I'm like, where did this
Right.
come from? Like it's really weird how life works,
Yeah.
because as long as you give from the heart, it will come back to you more
Right.
than what you give.
You attract what you
Yeah,
are.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing. And that's the reason why I believe in just giving and giving and giving and giving, because
Yeah.
the more I give, the more and more and more I receive. Yeah, it's like exponential. It just keeps coming in waves. So I've been blessed in that way. Like I said, that's why I feel like I'm the luckiest person. Um, but I live by this, and I'll die by this, because I really feel it's the right way. How you treat people,
Hmm.
how you give and how you love, and you genuinely care and want to help that person out. Because
Absolutely.
everybody's going through so much, of
That's
their own
true.
struggles in their own personal life, um, and especially when they're coming to come see you like this. From my perspective, you have to just give them, you know, the time and the attention and
Hmm.
that the compassion and the love and what you can give to them. And that goes to life too. It doesn't have to be just because I come here for my service. You see somebody who's less fortunate than you, or someone who may need a hug, or somebody that, give. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I think that's what we're lacking in today's society a little
Right.
bit.
I
And
agree.
we're so busy running our own life that we can forget that people are people,
Right.
and that there's power in people, and we should always respect and cherish each other for that.
Right. And the beauty about what you do is that you can kind of give it wherever you are. You
Yep,
don't need equipment. You don't need,
exactly.
that's what I love.
That's the
Like,
thing I love
we'll just
about
be hanging out and you'll just say, hey, you need an
exactly.
adjustment?
Just
And
to sit right here. We could use the
right.
coffee table. I could use the wall.
Exactly.
It's funny. My wife and I we'll go on vacation sometimes, and I love what I do. So whenever we go on vacation and I don't see patients, I get antsy.
Yeah.
Like
Finding
I feel
patience.
like I'm a crack addict. I need to hear the crack. I have to have the crack. So I'm
You
asking like a taxi driver. I'm asking a doorman. I'm asking like, hey, can I adjust you? I'm a chiropractor. They would love it. And
yeah.
just to put a smile on their face and know that it's like, I got my fix for today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like just cracking them, like they feel good. I'm like, yeah, okay, I got my fix for today. So I feel good myself too.
Yeah.
That's the power of what I do. That's the reason I love being a chiropractor. And that's the reason why I found my purpose, in
Yeah.
life, because there's no other occupation or job out there that I could think of that could give me that kind of joy, where I could take my skill with me and
Yeah.
apply it anywhere. You see what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
that would give me this kind of joy.
Right.
that I have. So
Did the joy? I mean, when you know a lot of people when they're starting their business or they're growing up to find, hey, you know what my
yeah,
passion is, what my true passion is because there's so much things in the world to do,
that's true.
and for you, it looks like you were
Hmm.
fortunate to find something that you were like, hey, you know what? Let me build up and see if I truly love to do
Exactly.
this. And it looks like you do
Oh
truly love to
yeah,
do this. But I mean, for some people out there, do you have any advice about if they are searching
yeah.
for something, what do they need to do, and what are some of the steps of just creating something for
Yeah,
themselves?
it comes down to how you feel about for example, if you what we do, we're caregivers, right?
Yeah.
We're doctors who take care of the we give service to other people so that they can feel better. So find what makes you happy. Really, it comes down to say find what makes you happy. What makes you feel? How you feel? You feel good about it, then lean towards that. And eventually, as you lean towards that, doors will start opening up to different professions or jobs or anything like that. If you're doing something day in day out that you hate doing, trust me, that's like one of the worst things you can do in life. Life is life is short. Okay, life is short.
Yeah.
So every single day, at least try to find something that drives you, that makes you want to practice it, that makes you want to like, oh, I
Hmm.
want to wake up every day to doing this. Whether it's art, whatever you want to do, like I said, you want to find something that, but then be smart about it too, because as you age, you gotta know that you gotta find a passion or a job that actually pays the bills as well, right? So,
Yeah.
so you want to find it's a balance of everything. So it's not just a one time thing. But so be fair, be true to your strength and your weaknesses, because only you know that. You know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at. You know what you like, what you don't like. You gotta really sit down and really hone in on what is you like. And once you find that one thing, you go after it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I
Hmm.
did. I didn't get my bachelor. I didn't have to get my bachelor. I could, but I went straight to chiropractic. Like I knew this is what I want to do. Like I said, that
Yeah.
incident when that chiropractor adjusted my neck and took my headache
Hmm.
away, I felt like a brand new person. Stood up
Yeah.
all night, changed my major next day, and then I knew exactly what to do. I'm like I want to go. I want to do that. I went all in. Yeah, exactly, all in. And sometimes you gotta do that. You take they call it a leap of faith. So you just take a leap of faith. You
Yeah.
say, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and this is it.
Mm.
That's when you know you found your purpose. That's when you know you found
Awesome.
your passion in life. And you can wake up every day and be proud of it. Because if you
Wow.
try to do too many things, it distracts you. You're not gonna really finish one thing that you want to do.
Mm.
I'm like, if somebody can hear me. Okay.
No, no, it's okay.
So
It's one.
It's a lot.
yeah,
But no, but what time is it right now?
We are, yeah, right about time. We
there.
can, yeah, probably have to wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to ask the closing
Yeah,
question?
I'll ask you the closing question
Okay.
that we try to ask everyone, but I forgot to ask our last guest. So obviously our podcast is called Journal of Journeys. We're interested in everybody's journey. And in this life, this is the biggest journey that we're ever gonna be in. We all can't walk with each other or for each other, but we can walk, with each other sometimes.
Mhm.
The only thing we can really do for each other is check in on each other. So I'm going to add this without saying good. How are you doing right now? How's your journey going right now?
Blessed.
I knew you were going to say that.
Blessed. No, no, seriously, because I wake up every day grateful
Yeah,
for all the littlest things I have, all the perfect things, all the non-perfect things. Once you once you realize once you realize that, and are grateful for all the little things, that that's it. It's like one little present. The little present is named blessed. That's it. And once you get to that point, you just gotta make sure, you cherish it and help those that around you, your family, your friends, yes, it's because there's these people that actually shapes you who, kind of in a way they influence you to be who you are too. So you just gotta really just be grateful that God gave you another day to live, and to continue living this life, yeah, that's it can go on and on and on, but you know what? In a nutshell, that's one
that's
word.
the
That's it,
word. Yeah.
bless. That's the word, bless.
I love it. And I
Yeah,
truly believe it too. Like,
yeah,
as a friend and as a patient,
uh-huh,
I feel like whenever we're around you, you really exude that energy where
yeah.
you're just generous and
Mhm.
whoever's around you, I mean, it feels good,
It's
you know, so
contagious.
it is
Kinda,
contagious.
it's
Yeah.
kind of, you could feel
It
it.
is. You
Yeah.
can. You could really feel your
It's,
intentions, and that's
yeah.
something that Megan and I we really appreciate about you.
Of
So
course. Thank you.
thank
Like
you
I said,
so
you guys have been
much,
awesome
Dr.
friends to me
Steve.
too. Yeah.
We've had so much fun
Thank you for
here.
your
Thank you for
time.
your
Hey, of
time.
course. Thank you
I
for
know you
having
have a
me.
patient coming in soon,
Yes,
so
that's funny.
we
Yeah.
have to
So,
go.
That's my, end of my lunchtime already. So,
Yeah.
okay.
oh,
Thank
okay.
you so
All
much,
right
though.
then.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
All right.
Peace.